What's up, guys? So, as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about how I lost 140 pounds. Some things I'm going to cover in this video are how I got to 320 pounds in the first place, um, what motivated me to change, the first steps that I took, and staying committed throughout the process. So, how did I get to 320 pounds in the first place? Well, I've always been a bigger kid. I remember always being the tallest one throughout elementary school. It wasn't until 6th grade where I noticed kids were taller than me, but it wasn't until around age 7 when my dad passed that the weight gain became pretty serious because, having no father figure and just comfort eating, that'll do it. So, by 3rd or 4th grade, I was always already considered obese by then, and I remember being 160 pounds in 5th grade. So just being that heavy at that young of an age can create that identity for yourself. So I just felt like I was stuck that way and there was nothing I could do. So the motivating factor for me to change, well, there was several. But the first and most important one was just all the bullying and harassment that I dealt with in middle school, because this just started a fire within me that I couldn't really deal with, but it was there. It was always there. And I was rejected multiple times, not just because of my weight, but the effect it would have on my confidence. Those go hand in hand. So that was another thing that really bothered me on the inside. And for the longest time, it felt like I was just stuck, There was nothing I could do to get out of it because I just thought it was my identity. And it wasn't until I was recovering from ACL surgery after I tore my ACL in football practice. I remember just laying on my bed, recovering, and just feeling like the biggest slob I ever have. This was the heaviest I was, and just bedridden, so I just felt terrible at the time. And I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw weight loss transformation videos like Obese to Beast, Possible Pat, those guys. And just after watching a bunch of videos like that, I started to binge watch those videos because I was so intrigued. And it was doing something for me. So, and that's really what sparked it for me, was when I was able to see how possible it was, how people that were bigger than me were losing all this weight. I thought I was stuck. I thought there was just no way for someone as big as me to transform themselves and be how I wanted to be. And after seeing a bunch of videos of people doing what I wanted to do, I was able to see it's actually possible. So the first steps that I took, the first one was just a promise to myself. For me, a flip switched in my head. I said, this is it. After seeing it was possible, I had to commit to that. I was ready to, strive for what I wanted and not settle for anything less. And I just didn't want to keep living how I was. So I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and just on what to do, the best things to do. And so yeah, YouTube is a very good source of finding knowledge for this type of stuff. So I downloaded MyFitnessPal and I entered in all my info, and it tells you how many calories you should be at per day. And the main rule in weight loss is calories in versus calories out. You could lose weight eating nothing but McDonald's for a whole day if it's under your caloric needs. So, or if you're in a caloric deficit, I should say. And so yeah, just finding out how many calories you need to be at is like really important. So as long as you're eating in a caloric deficit every day and just keeping that up, you will lose weight, guaranteed. So for me to do that, I had to do a complete overhaul of my diet. I didn't drink soda. I stopped eating fast food. Just anything you know is bad, just cut it out. And obviously everything is good in moderation, but for me, I just, I felt like until I actually deserved it, I wasn't gonna have it. Like, I felt like I didn't deserve to cheat myself for a while until I actually felt like I deserved it. But everyone's different, You can obviously treat yourself on like the weekends or something, but, figure out what works best for you. And so, yeah. And I've tried diets before, and I've always, done it for like a day or two and then just failed and ended up right back where I was. And this was because I thought I had to, eat nothing but vegetables and just do nothing but cardio. And all that is wrong. See, you just need to understand that you need to be in a caloric deficit. It doesn't really matter what you're eating. Obviously, if it's more nutritional and not, GMOs loaded with sugar and trans fats, obviously that'll be better to just stick with healthier stuff. But the main focus is to just get rid of the stuff you already know that's bad and just replace it with stuff that is healthier and you can somewhat enjoy, because it has to be sustainable. You have to be able to do this for a long period of time before you'll start seeing results. So, for example, I used to eat lots of like frozen garbage, like Tyson's chicken. Like, I would eat so much of that. And I stopped that. And instead, I would have like a turkey sandwich with like wheat crackers or something. I don't know, just and pickles. But just, simple stuff. Like, that's not like the epitome of health right there, but it's a lot better than frozen processed garbage. And so yeah, and I drank a lot more water, and I was in the gym at least 4 or 5 times a week, because for me, that's just how determined I was. So obviously it helps if you're in the gym a lot, just getting, physical activity in, but it doesn't have to be that. Just diet is the main thing, that you need to be in a caloric deficit if you want to lose weight. And even something as simple as, push-ups or sit-ups in the morning, that's always good, but yeah, diet is the main focus. And how I stayed committed throughout this process, for me, I felt like I was able to, obviously it was hard. It did have its moments, but I knew, because, within me, I knew there was only 2 places I could go. I could either get to where I wanted to be, or I could go back to how I was. And I just wasn't gonna settle for going back to how I was. There was just no way. So that's what pushed me to keep going. And that's what can push you to keep going. Because you can, whenever it gets hard, you can just remember that if you keep pushing, you will end up in a better place. But if you stop and just give up, you'll just go back to how you always were, and which will be sad and depressing, and obviously you're gonna want to change. So that's how I stayed committed throughout this. Just remembering your why you're doing the whole thing. It's not just for fun. It's for it's for you. It's for how you feel about yourself, It goes beyond so much more. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope I was able to help. And yeah.